everyone, good afternoon and welcome to my class on tenses today. So my name is Arifa Zahir and today's class is going to be specifically on tenses. IELTS is for grammar for IELTS, and we are going to discuss the different types of tenses and how we can use them in IELTS. Firstly that. Secondly, which tense predominantly is used in which type of activity, and how do we determine which tense to use for speaking, for writing, for writing task 1, writing task 2, for speaking part 1, speaking 2, speaking 3. So a decision on how tenses influence grammatical range and accuracy, because it is definitely a huge part of that. Firstly that. Secondly, how can I simplify tenses for you? So that's my approach going to be for today. Let's see who are there in the class. So we've got Palash, we've got Abhishek, we've got Ratul, we've got Ratna. Hi Palash, sorry for the delay. So are you there in the class right now? Can I get a quick hi from you? Okay, Lucky. So you've changed the name here. So is this your original name? Okay, we are here and we are good to go. So in the middle, I will be asking you a few questions and accordingly, we'll take it forward from there. For everyone else, today's class is going to be on tenses. And before we begin, it's very important to tell you that Unacademy is providing 20,000 plus live classes for all the students who are stuck at home and cannot access information, cannot go to universities, because everything is on lockdown. So this is a golden opportunity for you to go to the Unacademy live platform, and make use of these live classes. For all the students, there are different types of subscription plans. So from 1 month, let's go back and we'll choose a dark color so that I can see it and so can you. So there are 5 different types of subscriptions on Unacademy, and it's very important that you are aware of it, because not only do you have access to top Indian educators there, top educators, but also in different categories. I will be specifically talking to you about the IELTS category, and I'll tell you how you can make the most of it by subscribing to Unacademy. So the 5 different types of subscriptions are 1 month for 2,700, 3 months for 6,750, 6 months for 10,800, 12 months for 13,500, and 24 months for 21,600. It's very important to know that you can use my code BE Trainers and get a further 10% discount on any of these subscriptions. This is specifically for those students who do not have the subscription, and make the most of it, guys. Please remember, there's a difference between just attending a special class and being on the live platform and attending courses. You will understand the difference. We've just had a success story today where we've had a student scoring 8.5 in listening, 7 in writing, 7 in reading, and 7 in speaking. So you can understand some of these students are predominantly IELTS students from Unacademy. So do not hesitate, make the most of it. And if you'd like to subscribe, this is my code BE Trainers. You can get a further 10% off on any of these subscriptions that you would like to avail of. Alright? And a little bit about myself. My name is Arifa Zahir and I'm the founder of British English Trainers, which most of my followers would have known by now. I'm a plus educator on the Unacademy platform. I've done my Masters in English Literature and CELTA from Cambridge University. I have an overall experience as an IELTS administrator and a tutor of more than 10 years. I have taught, I began my career as an IELTS administrator with the British Council, where I would conduct IELTS all over East India. Post that, I started teaching and training at the British Council, and my overall journey with BC was close to 12 years, post which I started my own company. At BET, we provide training for IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, General and Communicative English, and also provide assistance in writing the statement of purpose. On that note, let's start the class. Now, okay, before we begin, my listening course is starting today. Listening part 1 and part 2 are going to be at 3:30 p.m. and listening part 3 at 6 p.m. today. So this is both today, 27th March, and listening part 4 and listening doubt class tomorrow, same time, 3:30 p.m. and then again at 6 p.m. Alright, so anyone who would like to attend these classes, this is the time schedule for tomorrow and today. This is 27th March, this is 28th March. And today at 8 p.m. I'm doing a special YouTube class on a deadly virus, coronavirus. This is a speaking topic, and this is specifically on request of one of my students, Neha Monga, who have requested for a special class on speaking with the vocab input. Okay, we have Neha in the class right now. So Neha, this is specifically for you, and all the other students can get benefit from this. Okay, so this is on speaking, guys. All right. You're most welcome, Neha. All right, so let's begin with the class. And before I begin, I'm going to ask a quick question to all of you. Now, we know that tenses are very, very important for us. And in this class today, I will discuss tenses. I'll tell you in whatever capacity tenses can be used in IELTS. So I'm going to discuss all of that with you. But most importantly, I'm going to ask you questions throughout the class today. And we are going to get to know how much of it you already know. After the input, how much does your knowledge get enhanced. All right, now before I begin, tell me something, which is the favorite which is my favorite tense for writing task 2? Let's see how many of you get that right. Okay, some of you got present simple right, and the others present perfect. Yes, the ones who know me well know that you always start any essay with present simple, writing task 1, writing task 2, unless you are a general training student. Then you started with whatever I'm writing in regard to present continuous. But my favorite, all-time favorite tense, because it gets used so much and students have such less knowledge about it, is the present perfect tense. So Vishnu, Vishnu and Palash, lucky, have got it right. Now, I'm going to do a quick roll call. Everyone who's there in the class is going to say yes, quickly. And then we start the class. Ratna, yes. Vishnu, yes. Parveen, yes. Ratul, yes. Palash, yes. Shamli, yes. And I think Abhishek also should have been yes. But anyways, let's start with the class so that I know exactly that all of you watched this. Okay, we are going to start with the present simple, simple present tense. And we are going to begin and understand. Now, why do we use the simple present tense in IELTS specifically? See guys, today's class is not only on grammar, but it is also for grammar tenses for IELTS. So we will be constantly correlating. So I see Neha too there. So yes, so constantly correlating. Please understand that the two places where we use simple present tense definitely are whenever we start Let me see where my pen is. Yes. Academic writing task 1 and 2. So the writing task 1 academic always starts with the given table says, the given graph says, the given pie chart says. So you have to understand it always starts with third person singular or plural. If it's a plural, so it starts with third person, which can be singular or plural. And then we have the verb. So this is a common structure for writing task 1. Academic, definitely. And for writing task 2, you always paraphrase the question. 90% of the time, the writing part 2 question is in the present simple. So you definitely, when you paraphrase, it becomes present simple also. Now remember, the other grammatical aspect which is equally important for writing task 2 is the passive voice, and also writing task 1 for processes. So it's very, very important that your ability to understand to a certain tenses and passive voice should be very, very strong. For writing task 1, general training, GT writing task 1, generally it starts with present continuous. I'm writing in regard to, I'm writing to complain about, I'm writing to inform you, I'm writing this letter to tell you. So see, so that starts with present continuous, but the others start with present simple. So that's the base. All right. From that base, we are going to start a class today. The simple present tense is used to talk about general truths. It is also used to talk about timetable future events. Unlike other tense forms, the simple present tense has a special S marking when the subject is a singular noun or a third person pronoun. I'm absolutely sure that all my students are aware of what third person singular is. Are you all aware of what third person singular is? Should be. Absolutely, Ratna. Anyone who's not aware of it will never get a good band score in IELTS. So that's the base. That's an absolute base, and it's important to know that this particular grammatical aspect is so important for each and every one to understand. The subject verb agreement, since we've got Urvashi said no, so definitely we've got third person singular, he, she, it, and the verb is always with the S. Now, I know the basic problem is trying to understand which is countable and which is uncountable. So that comes for verbs. For that, please always keep checking, watching my videos on countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Everything is explained in detail. So if it's a plural noun, it is a plural verb. If it's a singular noun, it is a singular verb. All right. Now, let's quickly have a look at these. The present simple is absolutely easy and most of you should be aware of it. But it's important to start with this, so we are going to start. Now, in IELTS speaking too, before I move on to the basic, nuances of the present simple tense, it's very important to understand that even for IELTS speaking, we always start with the present simple. Thank you for the given question, ma'am. So that is present simple. This is an interesting question. This is a nice question. This is a good question. This is a funny question. This is an unusual question. This is a weird question. This is a quirky question. So you always start with present simple, go into the general concept, then get into the specifics of the question. So always remember the strategy is absolutely same. So you do not need to fear regardless of what topic comes. All right. Just get the vocab straight. And like I said, in today's class at 8 p.m., I will not be only discussing the question, but I'll also be talking about the vocab. So that whole thing will make it easier for you to understand. So the present simple has a positive or the affirmative form, absolutely, which is the positive short form. I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, they are. So I'm Scottish, I am Indian, I'm an Indian, I am a um, I'm just thinking an Australian. So all these are the positive forms. The negative, you just need to add the not after the be verb. So I'm not an Indian, I am not a Scottish, I'm not an Italian, I'm not a Spanish. Now, present simple tense with other verbs. With all the other verbs, we make the present simple in the same way. The positive is really easy. It's just the verb with an extra s. If the subject is he, she, or it, it's just the verb. I've repeated the same thing here, funnily, but right there you go. I play tennis every week. He likes chocolate. They usually go to the cinema on Fridays. Don't forget the s. All right. Now, how does it change? If we have the go, if we have the do or does, if that gets added, so then your verb does not act with the subject. The do or does acts with the subject. So for example, I do not like you. You can see that I spoke about this yesterday also in the other class. So when you have a sentence like I do not like you, it changes, it's absolutely fine because I with the verb also is like. But the moment you write he likes you, you can see there's an S. But the moment we say he does not like you can clearly see that the S goes away. So that's how the subject he is correlated with does, the auxiliary, and not the main verb like. I hope that's absolutely clear. Should be for all of you. I think we had some of you making these errors in the live classes, so I hope this is absolutely clear for you. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. I did this yesterday also. You will tell me that whether you're going to use do or does with that. All right, everybody ready for that? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. We're going to play this game very quickly. Okay, population. Do or does. Quick, quick. No one should be looking at other people's answers. So Palash and Parveen, the answer was does. Very good, Vishnu. So proud of you. You are continuously improving. All right. The next person. Yes, Urvashi. Absolutely. Character. Okay. Very good. Information. All right. I think we are good to go out here. All of you have understood that. So let's move ahead. So we've got a few sentences for you. I would like you to complete these sentences. Fill in the blanks with the correct form of the verb. They are very easy. You should not be taking more than 2 to 3 minutes. All right. Let's start. Let's see what my students have written for now. So Palash tells me done, Neha tells me done, Shamali tells me done. Of course, it's very easy. I'm glad that all of you are done with it. There you go. The answers are there. Because I will be focusing on the more difficult ones now. Very easy. I hope none of you've got anything wrong. But I'm still going to ask. Quickly check the answers, guys. Of course, it had to be correct. It's so easy. This is just basic knowledge. It'll start getting difficult. Great, guys. Let's move ahead. Now, the present continuous tense. Now, firstly, this is the most important tense for the general training students. GT writing, let's say GT writing task 1. So it's important for everyone to know this, but specifically more important for general training students. First, we use the present continuous for things that are happening at the moment of speaking. These things usually last for quite a short time and they're not finished when we are talking about them. I'm working at the moment. Now, the thing is, when it comes to speaking part 3, you'll end up using present continuous there. You also land up using present continuous for academic students when you're talking about things in the writing task too. Now, there are two types of present continuous, situations. One is when you're actually doing that thing right now. What are you doing? I am writing a letter to the Prime Minister of the country. So you're doing that right now. Or it could also talk about what you're doing around now. You may not specifically be doing that at the moment, right now, but around this time, you will be doing that. So another thing is, what are you reading currently? I'm currently reading, the Da Vinci Code. So that means you may not be exactly reading it right now, but around this time you are reading that book. So that is how present continuous is spoken about. So how do we make the present continuous? Very simple, verb plus ing. So we use it for temporary situations, currently what you're doing, and we also use it for permanent situations. What are you doing right now? I'm working in a school. Now, this is a catch-22 situation. All my students who keep watching my videos will be able to answer this. When can we not use a verb in the ing form? Let's see. Who can tell me? Very good, Neha. Excellent. Students who follow my classes, this is going to be absolutely easy for you. State verb. And we have only 4 or 5 state verbs which are used in the present continuous state. Otherwise, the rest of the verbs are not. Now, Shamali, the answer to your question is, it absolutely depends on the question. Apart from writing task 1, where you definitely have to use the present continuous because you're answering, you're writing a letter. Everywhere else, it depends on the situation. Unlike present simple, where you definitely have to start the answer with, all the other tenses are determined by the type of question that you get. All right? I hope that answers your question. Now, similarly, we can use the present continuous for temporary or new habit. She's swimming every morning. You're smoking too much. So it's just important to know that permanent habits, temporary or new habits. And also we use it for habits that are not regular. He is forever losing his keys. That means he does it all the time. Uh, um, you know, but that happens very often. It's not regular, it's not a habit, but he's generally, he tends to lose his keys. No, Lucky, beginning is not a state verb. You answer the question yourself. Yeah. Guys, very easy. We are going to quickly make the present continuous out here. Please be careful. Some of them are in the question form, some of them are in the sentence form. So just quickly, the be verb and the verb. Just quickly, you don't need to write the whole sentence. Just use the verb form. And it's very simple, almost elementary, but I'm giving it to you for practice and for awareness. Quickly do this. This shouldn't take much time, guys. Only the be verb and the main verb. Verb plus ing. Good, Neha. It's just a general practice, guys. There shouldn't be even one error out there. Present continuous is very easy. Uh, because I'm teaching it to you, so it's important to give the activity. Otherwise, it's very easy. In fact, the one which I'm going to concentrate on is today the usage of present simple and the past simple. Present perfect and the past simple, guys. All good, I knew it. Now, my favorite tense is here, the present perfect. Before you do the present perfect, it's very important to know that it has a subject plus has slash have. Depending if it's third person singular, it is has, everything else is have, plus past participle. Now, yesterday's class, I had spoken about past participle. So, which form of the verb is this? Is it verb 1, verb 2, or verb 3? Very good, Palash. It is verb 3. I think, Nia, that was just a mistake, typo. You definitely know the past participle. You just got a little confused. Okay? And, of course, plus the rest of the sentence. Now, that's the first thing. Even before you know the meaning, when exactly can you use the present perfect, it's very important to understand what is the form. Because whenever it comes to the usage of the present perfect, the form is very important. The meaning definitely is, but the form is equally important. So be absolutely aware of that. All right. Now, present perfect makes you a better grammatical user, because the usage of present perfect makes it absolutely clear that you are aware of what you're doing, you are aware of what you're trying to say. And this is very important for all the students to understand, that when it comes to present perfect, the usage of the form is important, and analyzing the meaning behind it is also important. So I'm going to throw a question right now at you and ask you, guys, no one is going to open Google to see this, but generally, according to you, when do we use the present perfect? Just give me a general answer. I'm not looking for a right or a wrong answer. Okay, Palash, whatever you said, I'm going to take it from there. When you know the work has just finished, but the effect of which can be felt even in the present. So, yes, Nia, guys, all of you are remotely right, partially right. So, I'll just explain to you. We use it for unfinished actions. We use this tense when we want to talk about unfinished actions or states or habits that started in the past and continue to the present. Usually we say it how long, and we need since or for. We often use stative verbs. I've known Karen, so known since 1994, because of course you cannot use an ing, right? Now, since and for. Since we use it when we are talking about a fixed time in the past, and for when we are talking about a duration. We use for with a period of time, 2 hours, 3 years, 6 months, since specific point in the past. Now, I want to tell you something very important. Why is it used in the IELTS? Now, why is the usage of present perfect so common in the IELTS? Let me see if you know this answer. Now, the interesting bit is, yes, Palash, it's not easy to know. Uh, Abhishek, not bad. I'll tell you, it's remote, but it is not completely wrong. Because the whatever you're talking about, you don't know when exactly it has happened. You're talking about actions which have happened, but you don't know exactly when, where it has happened. And whenever you have that doubt, you know, that is the time you have to use the present perfect. There have been a lot of improvements that have been made in the field of science and technology, but you don't know when it happened. You don't know what exactly you are talking about, when the development took place, but you know it has happened, right? So that is the point, when you can understand that you have to use present perfect. And if you don't use present perfect, you lose marks. See, there are few grammatical aspects which the examiner is definitely looking for in the IELTS writing task too. And those are complex sentences, the usage of present perfect, the usage of present simple when you start, and if you're making any future predictions, then the usage of future forms. So it's very, very important to understand. We also talk about the present perfect. Just a second, excuse me. When, uh, you're talking about improvements in IELTS, what do we do? Writing task 2 questions are, what are the problems, what are the solutions? So whenever you're talking about problems, you don't know who's done those problems, you don't know when exactly those problems have happened, but you know the problems have happened and you're specifying them. Like, for example, what are the various causes of cigarette smoking? There have been many discussions in regard to the various causes behind the smoking of cigarettes. You see, do you know when the discussion has happened? No. Do you know who did the discussion? No. And so what you do is you use the present perfect. I hope it's absolutely clear to my audience in regard to why the present perfect is so important in the IELTS writing task 2. All right, really happy about that, guys, because this was something that I really wanted to simplify for my students, because a lot of students don't know exactly where in the essay do we use the present perfect. You use the present perfect when you don't know exactly when and where it happened, or when you are talking about some new developments also in the solution. a recent development that has happened. See, a recent development that has happened in the field of science and technology is. So, you're talking about something which has just happened recently, and there also you use the present perfect. Vishnu, I hope the concept is absolutely clear. My basic, uh, I always have a plan in my mind whenever I'm teaching grammar. My purpose for teaching grammar is not only to make the grammar easy for you to understand, it is also for you to use it correctly in the IELTS exam so that you can get the maximum score, in the examination. All right. Now, we are going to compare present perfect with past simple. But before we do that, we are going to do one activity. In this tense, we use both been and gone. Please remember as the participle of go, but in slightly different circumstances. We use been when we talk about life experience to mean that the person we are talking about visited the place and came back. I've been to Paris, she has been to school, they've never been to California. And we use gone when we want to talk about a person being to a particular place and is at that place now. So that way it comes in use in part 2 of speaking, also in part 3 of IELTS speaking. Been is जाके वापस आना, gone is सिर्फ जाना और वहां पे रहना. Alright. Now, make the present perfect. Choose positive, negative or question depending on the sentences. Now, this is going to take at least 5 to 6 minutes. Please do this properly. This is the most important stage in our tense class today. So, I want you to relax and do this. Alright. Yeah, we'll wait. And another announcement. No problem. I'll show you the answers. Uh, Guys, please don't forget. I hope you are absolutely clear with the timings. 3:30 p.m. Please keep yourself busy today with the classes, listening crash course, input and practice on part 1 and 2 of the IELTS listening examination. 6 p.m. is yours. Part 3, same listening, and 8 p.m. would be the coronavirus speaking. All right, guys, give me a confirmation in regard to that all of you are aware of today's schedule and you will be there in the class. This is for the subscribers. The 8 p.m. Lucky you can attend the coronavirus class at 8 p.m. Only the 8 p.m. coronavirus is the YouTube one. Alright, these are live classes. So please plan your day accordingly. Today and tomorrow are going to be busy days. Okay, sharing the answers, guys. Please check. And let me know how many errors you've made. Quickly tell me how many errors each one of you's made so that I'm aware of it. Okay, so Palash tells us Vishnu 4, Shamali including the 7-1, Parveen 3, Neha all correct, excellent. Vishnu 4, alright. What about Abhishek? What about Ratna? Alright, guys, now the simple past tense is very easy. We use it. I'll quickly go through the rest and I'll compare the simple past and the present perfect for you because that's an area where a lot of students have an error. Abhishek, you made 8 errors. That means the one thing, please practice. I spoke about verb 1, 2, and 3 yesterday. Please go through verb 1, 2, and 3. In fact, Google past participle, Google verb forms. That's the perfect, phrase to Google and find out what are the different verb forms. All right, that's the homework for everyone. It's only Neha Monga who's got everything right. Now, simple past tense. Now, simple past tense is for finished action states or habits in the past when you know exactly what the date was, what the time. So, it's an action that finished completely in the past. Very easy, nothing complicated. For example, I went to the cinema yesterday. When did you go? Yesterday. Did the action happen in the past? Yes, it happened in the past. Can you feel the effect of it in the present? No, you cannot. That means the action has got completely completed. Absolutely, yes. So Leonardo painted the Mona Lisa. Did he paint the Mona Lisa in the past? Of course, yes. Is the action over? Yes. Did it happen at a specific point in the past? Yes. So past simple. All right. We let me read out the rest. We use it with finished action states or habit in the past when we know from general knowledge that the time period has finished. Next, we use it when we have introduced the present perfect um, or the past another tense in the past. So we use it even during then. I've hurt my leg. I fell off a ladder when I was painting my bedroom. So you've hurt your leg. So it's called narrative tenses when you use other tenses to talk about something that happened in the past. Okay. Um, Guys, can you all hear me? Yeah, it's visible now. Now we use it for stories or list of events. We often use the past simple for the actions in the past and the past continuous for the background. Clear? So that's just your general past simple and past continuous correlation, and we also use it for unreal or imaginary things in the present or future. So that's the conditional. So we are going to remove that from here because that's not what we are interested in. My basic purpose in doing the past simple was just to tell you what's the difference between past simple and present perfect. Otherwise, it's very easy to understand when to use the past simple. The problem is never with the past simple and the present simple. The problems always arise with the other tenses. Now, I've got subject plus verb plus ed. Please understand one thing, that this particular verb plus ed out here is specifically for one thing, regular verbs. If it's an irregular verb, it's not going to be an ed, it'll be some other spelling. So this is for regular, and irregular verbs will have other spellings. But it means it's both for regular and irregular, the past form. And the form is subject plus have or has slash has slash have plus past participle plus rest of this sentence, ROS. We use the present perfect. Okay, there has been a slight mistake here, guys. This is for present perfect and this is for past simple. So I've just mixed it. Okay, this is this one and this is this one. We use the present perfect for actions that began in the past and that have a connection to the present. In the present perfect, the time is generally unspecified. Please note, in the present perfect, the time is generally unspecified. Alright? And we use the past simple for actions that have been completed in the past. In the past simple, the time is specified. Unlike the present perfect, the past simple does not have a connection to the present. And here you have time phrases that you can use with past simple and time phrases that you can use with present perfect. So please take a screenshot of this so that you are able to remember it later on. Take a screenshot. Okay, I hope you are done with that. Now past continuous tense, and then we'll be done with the class. A little bit about the future and then it'll be over. An action in the past which overlaps another action or a time. The action in the past continuous starts before and often continues after the other shorter action or time. I was walking to the station when I met John. So these are two actions in the past. Okay, and one action overlaps the other. One action is a longer action and the other action is a shorter action. That's what happens with the present continuous sentence. At 3 o'clock, I was working. So I started working before 3 o'clock and finished after 3 o'clock. In the same way, we can use the past continuous for the background of a story. We use the past simple for the actions. This is really a specific example of use. The birds were singing, the sun was shining, and in the cafes people were laughing and chatting. Amy sat down and took out her phone. So you can see when you're talking about stories, you generally land up using the past continuous. So maybe when you're describing. Now another place where you would be using past continuous is in speaking part 2. If the examiner asks you to talk about an event which happened in the past and which was very memorable for you, which had a lasting impact for you, and which also was nostalgic for you. So you would be using the past continuous in speaking part 2 if you have to talk about an action that happened in the past. All right. So we use it for temporary habits or habits that happen more often than we expect in the past. He was always leaving the tap running. So we use always and constantly or forever for these type of habits. To emphasize that something lasted for a while, the use is often optional and we usually use it with time expressions like all day or all evening. He was reading all evening. Remember, you can't use this tense or any continuous tense with the stative verbs or the state verbs. That's it. And then we'll do the past perfect. I'm going to do only till the past perfect because I do not want to confuse all of you. And a finished action before a second point in the past. When we arrived, the film had started. So, two actions happen in the past. One action happens before the other action. So, that's when you use past perfect. Again, a lot of students ask me about this. Generally, in the IELTS writing, we tend to use past perfect in the minimum. In fact, there's hardly any usage of that, apart from maybe in general training, writing task 1 in regard to a specific event. Otherwise, we tend to not use it that much. The usage of present perfect is higher. It had snowed in the night, so the bus didn't arrive. Something that another place where we use it is something that started in the past and continued up to another action or time in the past. So so if we have a timeline, I'll just show you a timeline. So where's my pen? It's so difficult to locate it. So we've got the future, we've got the present, and we've got the past. Alright, so both the actions happened in the past. In the case of past perfect, one action finished before the other. That's it. On the 20th of July, I had worked here for 3 months. So on 20th of July, so that date is over. So I'd worked here. So on 20th July, that's one past form. So you'd worked there for 3 months. Alright? To talk about unreal or imaginary things in the past, in the same way that we use the past simple to talk about unreal or imaginary things in the present. We use the past perfect to talk about unreal things in the past. This is common in the third conditional and after wish. Guys, I hope this is absolutely clear for you. So I want you to do this activity, and after that we are going to end the class today. So quickly do this. Excuse me. Guys, this is, excuse me, I'm really sorry. This is past simple, positive or negative or question form. Thank you, Nia. So this particular activity is not for past perfect, it's for past simple. Please see it and do it accordingly. Very good, Palash. Guys, sharing the answers with you. And on that note, let me tell you that we come to the end of the class today. And we've covered present simple, past simple, present continuous, past continuous, present perfect and past perfect. Alright. maybe on a later date, I will do a short class, a 30-minute YouTube class on future forms. And on till that point, please keep going through my classes on the Unacademy live platform, on the Unacademy special platform, to know more about grammar, to know more about listening, reading, writing, and speaking. My referral code is BE Trainers. And if you subscribe with this code on the Unacademy platform, you will be getting a 10% off. So please use my referral code to subscribe. Yes, Neha, 3:30 on Unacademy, and this is the current schedule. We are having the classes right now. We'll have the next class at 3:30, 27th March, 6 p.m. and then again at 8 p.m. on YouTube. So if you are not a live subscriber, subscribe to it, guys. Use my code. But if you would still like to attend a class, then at 8 p.m. on a deadly virus, which is the coronavirus. Thanks, guys. Most welcome and good day. Meet you at 3:30 p.m. on the Unacademy live platform. Bye for now.